The 23rd day of December. The Prince, Miranda, and Chloe had returned to the royal palace, and the trolls to the troll glen. Fanika was busy making rice pudding in her vat of boiling milk. She stirred the pudding with her spoon and sprinkled it with some cinnamon powder from one of the canisters on her shelf. She had thrown away all of her magic powders and replaced them with spices. Archibald and Spike were out in the forest near the castle. Tandra had given Archibald some garlands for his little Christmas tree, which now stood tall and full in the middle of the forest. Archibald wrapped the last of the garlands around the tree and stood back to admire it. In a forest, in a glen, in a field, or a fox's den, there grows a seed, a little each day, bursting forth on the 1st of May. Through rains of spring and summer's warmth, under autumn's cloth and winds from the north, the little seed grows strong and tall, until that day it decks the halls. Balls of glass sparkle on green, presents wrapped with all our dreams. Candy canes dangle, and strings of berries adorn your figure to make us merry. Archibald heard bells and turned to see the sleigh from the royal palace. It stopped beside him. Miranda and the prince stepped down. "Good morning, Archibald," the prince said. "Your Highness," Archibald answered, bowing to greet the prince, but he bowed a little too deeply and fell into the snow. The prince helped him to his feet. "This has certainly been a Christmas full of adventure for you, hasn't it, Archibald?" "Yes, Your Highness," Archibald answered. "I've been writing down everything that happened so I will never forget it." "What a beautiful Christmas tree," Miranda said, walking around Archibald's tree. "Thank you," Archibald replied. "I planted it myself." "Really?" the prince remarked, admiring the tree. "Then I've made the right decision." "Decision, Your Highness?" "Yes, Archibald. As a reward for your bravery in helping us, I'm appointing you to be official caretaker of the Christmas tree farms." Archibald couldn't believe what he had just heard. Before he could find his voice, the prince continued. "It's a big job, and you have to travel all over the kingdom taking care of all the Christmas trees." "I can do it," Archibald said. "I'll be very good." "I'm sure you will, and to get you started, I have a little gift." He handed Archibald a golden hoe tied with a ribbon. "Thank you, Your Highness," Archibald said, admiring the tool. "Can Spike help me too?" "Of course he can. He can be your assistant." "What's that smell?" Miranda said, sniffing the air. "It's Vanika's rice pudding," Archibald answered. "But it smells burnt." "Well, she's still learning how to cook," Archibald said, and they began to laugh. The prince and Miranda climbed back into the sleigh. "Don't forget my party tomorrow. I'll send a sleigh to fetch you." The prince called back, and the sleigh pulled away. "We'll be there," Archibald said, waving as he watched the sleigh glide over the snow and the bells on the horses filling the clear winter air. "The runners are polished. They glisten and shine. The snow is crisp. We'll make good time. The horses are hitched with harness and bridle. Hurry up, we mustn't be idle. The mares are neighing, the birds all sing. The day is clear, the church chimes ring. But best of all are the horses' bells, as they jingle and tingle through hill and dell." Pendulum was in the tower of the Nice Palace, gazing over the kingdom through Clipper's telescope. Balto came into the tower carrying a mug of hot chocolate in one hand. The other hand was tucked behind his back. "I thought I'd find you up here," Balto said, passing Pendulum the mug. "I've been tinkering around the Nice Palace all morning," Pendulum said. "I gave Clipper's telescope a spot of oil." "Do you see anything interesting?" Balto said. "It's what I don't see that saddens me," Pendulum replied with a sigh. "We're all upset about the White Palace disappearing." "My clocks are gone," Pendulum said, "and all the mechanical toy I made for Clipper. I wish I had a gift to give him." "I've got a surprise for you," Balto said. He brought it out behind his back, the mechanical toy Pendulum had made for Clipper. "It's Clipper's toy." "Yes, when we were at the White Palace and discovered that the troll had captured you, I took it for safekeeping. Clipper will be so happy. It's one of the best toys I've ever made." "Clipper's just happy to have you visit," Balto said. "Which brings us to the next item of business." "Business?" "Yes," Balto said, sitting on a stool beside Pendulum. "Clipper has reached the age where he should start thinking about a trade. Tanger and I think he's ready to become your apprentice." "But you don't have a workshop anymore." "Of course you do," Balto replied. "The attic of the Nice Palace will make a perfect workshop for you. And there's lots of room for an apartment up there too," Balto said, giving his brother a big hug. "Welcome to your home." On their return to the royal palace, the prince stopped the sleigh at the sight of the half-finished Christmas palace on the hill. "I'm sorry about your palace, Your Highness," Miranda said. "There's nothing to be sorry about," the prince answered. "You can't expect to build a palace in 24 days. Besides, you're busy with more important things." "Still, your plans were very good," Miranda said. "Thank you, Miranda, but I don't feel good about all the destruction I've caused." "But we still have our memories of the palaces," Miranda said, "so they haven't really vanished." "What do you mean?" "The plans you drew up for the Christmas palace had touches of all the palaces in the kingdom. That will help us remember them." The prince thought about this for a moment. "Then I'll make sure the palace is built one day." Miranda smiled. She had a feeling the prince would keep his word. What about the prince's important announcement? Would it be a happy one? Until tomorrow. Good night.